I hate that coaches get the rug pulled out from them so fast, and these players treat the transfer portal like it's NFL free agency. Welcome to episode 294 of Empty the Bench here on the Empty the Bench podcast network, presented by Playback. He's Zain, Bando. I'm Nick Morgasen. Follow us on social media at ETB Sports, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at ETB Sports. Make sure you follow our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network. Make sure you like and subscribe as we continue to grow past 1,000 subscribers, as we also look for our 4,000 watch hours for YouTube. If you can't watch on the video side, listen to Empty the Bench wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify. You know the deal by now. We're on all those platforms. Empty the Bench is presented by Playback, playback.tv/ETB Network. We're doing a lot of things on the platform. We just finished watching the World Series, which we'll get into in this episode. Probably one of the greater World Series we've seen in quite a while.
Some people are saying it's top two. Some are saying it's the best they've ever seen. There's a lot of differing opinions, but I think what people can agree on is that it's one of the better ones, as you alluded to in recent memory, with the Dodgers coming out on top in 7 games, which we'll get to a little bit later on in the episode.
Yeah, so we just finished that. We'll get to the NBA. The NBA is going to be the lead content provider for us on Playback until March, when March Madness comes in and infiltrates Playback.
Right, assuming it does so again, yes. Yep.
From what I heard, that's the plan. So we'll get into all that, but make sure you check us out over there. Okay. We have a lot to get into, and unfortunately, college football Firegate has hit the airwaves again.
Yeah, that's now 11 Power 4. 11 FBS. 11 FBS coaching firings now. That's, I believe, 5 or 6. I think it's now 6 Power 4 firings that we're up to now. The latest one being Hugh Freeze. He was fired from Auburn. I guess we could start by getting into that.
Well, we'll get to that. Also, we have NFL Week 9 recap. Wild week in the NFL. A lot of upsets, including the Packers getting, I think, embarrassed by the Panthers. We'll get into that. We'll talk about the World Series. One of the better ones I can remember, and I've watched baseball for a long time. Also, we'll get into another betting scandal or gambling scandal. And no, it's not the NBA. It's the UFC.
Yeah, it's the UFC in a way that you would least expect. And no, it has nothing to do with any of their major stars, which makes it even more interesting. So,
right, we're talking about names that you don't hear on an everyday basis in the UFC.
And names that even casual observers probably won't even know until I reference them. But yeah.
And then also Jake Paul versus Tank Davis canceled, which really should not be a surprise to most people.
Well, it's not officially canceled, but it's looking like it's going to be canceled.
I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's pretty much heading. It's probably 90% of the way there.
Yeah, by the time this episode comes out, there's a good chance it'll probably already be canceled. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, we'll get into the CFB poll again. Well, the AFP poll for college football.
But the good news is, on next week's episode, you and I will actually get to talk about rankings that matter, because the first CFP rankings come out. Came out last night from the time that this is going out. So as we move along in November, we're going to actually scrap the AP rankings and talk about rankings that make sense, because now we're going to have 4 weeks of literal CFP rankings beginning this week.
Thank God. I can't wait for the actual rankings to come out and none of this AP garbage anymore, because I feel like those people just don't know how to vote.
There's some garbage ballots this week. I can tell you that right now from pre-research. So
well, I'm not surprised, to be honest. And then obviously we'll finish up the show with Thursday Night Football, which I think you and I actually came off another winning week.
Yeah, we won. We both had the Ravens covering the number on the road against Miami. We're going to try to do the same thing by giving you a TNF winner this week in a game that might actually be closer than people may expect. So stay tuned for that near the end of the show.
Yeah. All right. So let's get started because we have not as much as last week, but we definitely got some good topics for this week. So let's get in. College football head coach firing gate hits the news wire again as Hugh Freeze fired from Auburn after a loss to Kentucky at home. This one surprised me a little.
Okay, can you be more specific? Because I think the general consensus of the college football community was a matter of if not when. So it's interesting that you have this position, and I'm curious to hear you expand upon it.
Because I haven't heard his name out in rumors. Have you? I really haven't. Like all the other guys that got fired so far, there was rumors behind them possibly getting fired. Like James Franklin. How many rumors did we hear about James Franklin being fired? And then it was more the inevitable of waiting for it.
A lot. I would say this was more so in the Auburn community that they were hoping he would get fired, and it was less national until it became national, if that makes sense.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Like this felt very localized compared to James Franklin, who was getting his reputation destroyed
Mm-hmm.
in the process. I'm trying to think of who else. The UCLA coach. Like
Oh, Deshaun Foster.
that was very national. Like that news like was
Mhm.
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Who else got fired so far?
Well,
Oh, Novell.
Norvell from Colorado State, and then of course Napier from Florida.
Those were
Napier.
very public. Very public.
Mm-hmm.
This like broke out of the blue. Would you say this was like very randomly this broke?
I'd say it was random to an extent, but I'd say the rumors started to swirl after a viral video was taken by a Auburn reporter that showed Hugh Freeze walking off the field Saturday night and getting booed as he was walking off the field.
I that's so I don't get that sometimes. Like now Kentucky, well, Auburn's the better team, right? They're a higher
Auburn is the
seed.
better team, but losing to Kentucky at home, a team you never lose to, like Auburn doesn't historically lose to this program. Like it was a really bad loss.
But yeah, that the only reason I say like it's a surprise is because like I didn't hear it until like the night before we recorded this,
Right,
obviously.
right.
So I didn't know like I knew Auburn had some issues. I knew they had some
Now,
problems going on.
if you would have told me that Hugh Freeze would get fired before Luke Fickle at Wisconsin, I don't think I would have believed that.
That program's a nightmare right now
Mhm,
in Wisconsin. I thought
mhm.
I'm surprised Fickle hasn't been fired yet by any
Yeah,
means.
same with Fickle and same with Jonathan Smith at Michigan State. People are dumbfounded that both are still there. People can't believe it.
I mean, how do you explain some like, that's why it's very confusing like what's going down in college football with all these firings. Like, I think I broke the number out last week while we were doing the show that what was it like $170 million in buyouts
Mhm.
so far? Like, is it that we just don't like because of all the NIL money and all the private investment that we just don't give coaches chances anymore and we're
Well,
just willing to pull the rug out?
I think it's NIL money, but I also think it's the pressure to win in the SEC because it has this standard of being the best league, which the Big Ten would like a word because it's won the last two national titles in football, but historically the SEC has been a better conference overall, and Auburn is meant to be one of those programs where the standard is that you're supposed to win there. And if you don't win there, people turn on you. And given that there's no other sports in that region, football is their lifeblood every fall. So if they're not getting the product on the field that they want, they unfortunately don't care if a coach has been there 3 years or 10 years. If they're not winning immediately, people quickly and eerily get frustrated. I'm one of those people that believes that they could have waited until the end of the year because if you look at Auburn, they're 4-5 right now. All they needed was two more wins to become bowl eligible. It's not like he couldn't just ride it out with them. And if they hated the way the season ended, then fire him. But he even admitted, and I felt really bad for him. So I'm going to kind of counter you with the claim that I somewhat agree with you, and I'm just telling you the general consensus of just like what people usually think about this kind of thing. And my thought process is they're I mean, he's not wrong when they say that they're super close. I mean, you look at their schedule, you can even look at it like they only lose games by a touchdown or fewer. They actually played quite well in most of their games this year. It was just the fourth quarter where they faltered. And he admitted it. Like he even admitted, he even admitted after the game, he's like, you guys see it out there. We're super close to breaking through and winning the games that we're supposed to. But I think the other counter argument to that is when you've been there for 3 years and you promise the same thing every year that, oh, this is the year we're going to finally get out of this funk, and they don't do it, then they're dissatisfied. So I'm honestly, unlike the James Franklin firing, I'm not sure whether this benefits them long term, just because I mean, you can even look at it, and I'm sure there's going to be decommits after this comes out, but there were plenty of guys that were thinking and committed to Auburn thinking that Freeze would be there for another 2 years, and now he's no longer there. So I don't know. And again, I thought last year the way they ended the season last year was really impressive. And then the year before, them nearly beating Alabama, in I believe it would have been I think it was if I'm mistaken, I think it would have been when when Tagovailoa was still there. I think they've been close. They just haven't gotten over the edge yet. That's
Yeah,
the
but we
or
need
excuse me, not Tagovailoa. Jalen Milrow is who I was trying to reference there.
right now. Can we talk about how there's a massive problem in college football where it's kind of turning into the NFL in a sense where
It is. I mean, we were sitting here just 2 weeks ago. I was panicking. I'm no longer panicking now. I'm actually in a great mood, but I was sitting here panicking that somehow not to divert it just for 2 seconds, but we're talking about this axing very quickly. I mean, you proposed you proposed the question to me a week ago, 2 weeks ago. What if Illinois continues to lose? Was Illinois going to turn on Bielema eventually? And I'm not saying that can't still happen in the near future, but it kind of goes back to what you were about to say, where they're just not giving these coaches enough of a chance.
well, what I was starting to get at was I people forget, like, I remember 10 years ago where college football was just college football. Like, there was no such thing as all this money being involved. There was no NIL. There was no potential private investment, which I've talked with Callan on Press Row about. You and I have talked about it many times, that this potential private investment by this California pension situation
Right.
that's gonna buy, I think, like the Big Ten and all these different private investments they were talking about. It's no longer about football anymore
It's
for
about
these programs. It's all
trying to
about
suck
private
up
investment.
well, and suck up as much money as they can, because they want to keep feeding the hand every year.
Right. And that doesn't make sense to me because we're no longer out there for the competitiveness of college sports. We're out there now for who's the next big dollar sign that's going to come on the field.
Right. And some coaches, in an old school way, wish that there were some elements that remain the same. Like, not to divert again, but he was one of the few coaches who said this. Brett Bielema was one of the few coaches in America a year ago when his team was sitting at 9-3, waiting for their bowl bid, which ended up being the Citrus Bowl, which Illinois won. He's like, I think college football is a changing landscape, but to kind of wrinkle in everything you're saying, he's like, why can't we just simplify the game and make sure that the teams who deserve to play in these games deserve to play in them, and the rest will take care of itself. And he was one of the few who just went out and said what he was feeling. And I feel like a lot of these coaches aren't willing to do that. So,
but I think this is a massive frustration for like me as an NFL fan who wants to actually get into more college football, but if you're just going to buy out the coach every single time a situation heads into panic mode, I can't follow guys if they're constantly moving around the sport. That's a problem. And I'm looking at so Hugh Freeze was 15-19 in 2+ seasons at Auburn, capped by a listless home loss to Kentucky.
he was 15-19, and what they fail to mention is 4 of those losses weren't directly his fault. And the reason why I know that is because I've watched his tenure, and I think that people are making him out to be worse of a coach than what he actually was. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have been half as competitive in the games they were in. So I don't know.
I want to go back to another point you said earlier, though, because you were saying like, oh well, certain losses, like you understand, and certain losses you don't. Like,
yeah.
Again, this goes back to a point I've made the past couple weeks. Losses should not be ranked. It's just, it should be a win is a win, a loss is a loss, and whatever your record is determines how your season goes. And this is part of the problem.
And by the way, for further context, though, I understand what you're saying, but that can be negated a little bit in Auburn's case because they weren't ranked.
Correct. Yeah, in some instances, yes. But
yes,
I feel like sometimes, so I guarantee you when John Cohen, the athletic director, was looking at this, because the way he says this is, I have the quotes here. I informed Coach Freeze of my decision to make a change in leadership of the Auburn football program. Coach Freeze is a man of integrity, and we are appreciative of his investment in Auburn and his relentless work over the last 3 years in bolstering our roster. Our expectations for Auburn football are to annually compete for championships, and the search for the next leader of Auburn football begins immediately. If he's a man of
to counter Mr. A.D. Cohen, bolstering their roster, you guys haven't had one big recruit in 2 years.
And it's not like you're out there spending NIL money like it's nobody's business. I mean,
right, exactly.
But if he's such a man of integrity, like you claim in this quote, why not keep him to finish the season?
Exactly.
Because, and again, I
mean, I don't know if you saw his final press conference after the loss to Kentucky. He essentially pleaded with Cohen without saying his name to not fire him, and he fired him anyway.
You know what it is? There's so much pressure on all these big time college football programs.
It's crazy.
Crazy. I don't have to be a rocket scientist.
It's so nuts, and not to divert either, but it's so nuts that just some of the vile things that people were saying about Ryan Day after they lost to Michigan and they won the national championship anyway.
Well, I can think of a certain somebody on Big Noon Kickoff who beats the crap out of him every single week, Dave Portnoy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does that for no apparent reason, just because he's a Michigan fan.
I think so too.
But am I saying Ryan Day is a perfect individual? Not even close.
No, certainly not.
But you got to give him credit. The guy has turned Ohio State around into a massive juggernaut. Like,
of course.
But I think it's just, first of all, being an AD of a major college football team is a lot of pressure right now.
For sure. And even the ADs that are still working to build sustainable programs, I would argue they're under even more pressure.
I mean, the LSU situation, like which we talked about last week with Brian Kelly, I don't want to be that AD right now. First of all, I don't think that AD should have survived, to be quite honest.
Well, he didn't. He parted ways almost immediately.
But I'm saying, like, he almost was going to survive that.
Yeah.
Almost. And I remember, I think you and I had said, like, or at least I said, if the coach is fired, isn't that on the AD? Though?
Yeah, you said that.
because the AD is responsible for the coach, right? I mean,
Right. Exactly. Yep.
but so also Hugh Freeze is owed almost $16 million with no mitigation, which means he's going to get his money. So,
Yeah.
I
Hey,
guarantee.
there's plenty of other SEC openings right now that would gladly take his services. I'll tell you
I
that.
I think he's one of the few that actually will get a new job at some point.
Do you think he's going to get hired at Florida? Because that's my way too early prediction.
Would I be surprised by that? No. I think that's not a bad fit. Veteran experience, which Florida needs.
And he's been around a lot of places, as you know. So
and it also says the defensive coordinator DJ Durkin was named the interim coach.
yeah, which by the way, DJ Durkin has head coaching experience. So that's not a bad fit.
But again, and you and I remember we talked about this last week. It makes no sense to fire a college football coach in the middle of a season at all.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
So, because you're not going anywhere anyway. So, what's the point of firing the coach? Is there?
I really don't know. I think you know a lot of people. I don't know if you've been paying attention on social media, and this isn't to divert away from Hugh Freeze, but we're on the topic of firing coaches. There are more people coming out now and saying that Penn State made a massive mistake by firing James Franklin in the middle of the season.
Well, yeah, because when you have a major coach like that, they do everything a certain way, and now you have to kind of undo it in a sense. I don't even know if that's the right word, but transition it.
Yeah, and you could just tell that Terry Smith is very quiet. I don't really think his reserved personality is helping this situation. Like, I feel bad for him the most out of anybody in this situation because he has to take over the whole mess. And speaking of, Durkin has to take over this whole mess too. They have what? 3 or 4 games left? I
Yeah.
mean that's a real tall order. I mean, you got to win 2 of them, but still.
Also,
Taking over a program that hit literal rock bottom, had its coach fired, did not meet expectations this year. Like, at the end of the day, the people that are losing the most here are the players that initially trusted Freeze to guide them from a leadership standpoint.
and you were talking about his situation personally, and also the recruits. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer earlier this year.
Oh yeah.
Also, now let me be clear. I'm not saying that he deserves complete sympathy because of that, but
No, but he has to deserve a little bit of sympathy, though.
no. I agree, but I'm saying I want to be clear that that's not the reason that should hold him up from being fired.
Right,
Is what
exactly.
I'm saying. But he also landed consecutive top 10 recruiting classes. He added key transfers: Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma.
Which,
Eric
by the way,
Singleton Jr.
Jackson
from Georgia
Arnold
Tech.
at the beginning of the season was playing well, and then he started to struggle a little bit.
See, college football is not college football anymore. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm saying that, right? So,
College football isn't the traditional college football that I grew up with and that you probably grew up with.
it's no longer let's get to the field, let's play football.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's semi-pro NFL football with more theatrics.
I would go further and say that I think that college football is NFL 2.0.
Do you think it's an exciting product? Because I do.
Well, college football now, you mean?
Well, yeah, I just mean in terms of like the parody in it. Like
It's more
upsets.
competitive. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's more competitive, but at the same time, like, I hate that coaches get the rug pulled out from them so fast, and these players treat the transfer portal like it's NFL free agency.
Well, besides the transfer portal, do you think it's good that the players are making money now as opposed to not?
Well, I think they were being taken advantage of value's sake.
Right. Before NIL, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most can agree with that.
But at the same time, I don't like what NIL has done from the standpoint of, like, they're holding teams hostage over huge money.
Right.
And And when you used to recruit before NIL, before money was involved, it was okay. Who's offering me a full-time scholarship to show up?
Well, who's offering me a scholarship? Which coach do I want to play for? And do they have a history of winning?
Now,
And I see myself fitting in that culture. And now I'll bounce around as many times as I think
well,
is
even
necessary.
no, but not, even before now they enter the school, it's now who's offering me the most money to show up.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what college football is supposed to be. College football is supposed to be I go to the school for the coach that I like, and I build my resume so that eventually I can get drafted in the NFL.
Or go on and have a good post career with whatever it is, because not everybody's going to make the NFL.
Correct. And it's actually what under 1% of athletes make it to the NFL. But
And
now,
under 0.2% go in the top 5 of the draft. It's very rare.
so I just think that that college football has become the NFL. It's all about money. It's all about, and it's no longer about what you're supposed to go to college for, which is to get a degree.
It's about all the extra stuff that goes with it.
I think it's backwards. It used to be you go to school, you get a degree, and if you become a professional athlete, it's a bonus. Like now, these athletes are going to school thinking, I want to be an athlete, and if I get a college education, it's a bonus. Now,
I'm one of those people that believes that they should be. I don't know if you agree, but I feel like I'm one of those people that believes that they should just, if you're gonna give them all these benefits, then you should just make them employees then.
but that's the problem. That's the whole, because isn't it true some schools over the last couple of years tried to unionize to try to protect themselves?
Yeah, and it didn't work. Northwestern was one of them.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that backfired on them big time.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were trying to say, "Oh, we're employees, we deserve benefits, and all this stuff," right?
Well, yeah, I mean, me personally knowing a few college athletes, I mean, when I tell you that their schedule is dictated to the minute on a daily basis in season, they're not kidding about that.
Yeah, but that's normal, right? Because that's getting them ready in a sense if they want to be a professional athlete.
Mm-hmm. No,
But
I'm just saying in general where they don't have the same balance as like a normal college student would.
no, it's true. I agree
Mm-hmm.
totally. That
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, like it's how much money can you make, kid? How much money are you going to make for me now? Rather than, hey, kid, let me get you ready to be a football player. Like,
Or just be a working adult citizen.
right? I mean, I don't know anymore. We could spend forever on this, but Hugh Freeze fired. I mean, am I totally surprised? No.
Before we
Like,
move off this, can we please look at Auburn's remaining schedule? Because I will tell you if they'll make a bowl game or not.
yeah. Let me see if I could find
Should be an
Auburn's.
easy lookup, I think.
Oh, I found it. Okay.
Okay.
So next game is
Do they have a bye this week or do they play this week?
they play this week.
Okay.
So let's see. They play. Who is that? Is that Vanderbilt?
Yeah, does it say?
It's in Nashville.
Yeah, that's Vanderbilt.
Okay, so they're at Vanderbilt this coming week.
That'll be really tough. That's Diego Pavia, so that'll be really tough. They'll probably lose that game too.
Okay,
Who do they have after that?
so second consecutive road game at Baylor.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Wait, let me just make sure. Make sure we're looking at the right thing.
Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong games. Hold on.
Yeah, you
So,
are. I'm like,
okay,
I'm
so
like,
well,
I'm
no,
like,
Vanderbilt was right. Vanderbilt is the next game. Then they are at home for Mercer
oh no, they'll win that game. So they'll at least get one more win the remainder of the year. Then they play Alabama in the
in
Iron
the
Bowl.
Iron Bowl, which I think they're going to lose that.
Yeah, although the game might be closer than people think because the Iron Bowl is usually really interesting. So
I mean, Auburn's not the same team they want. I mean, Alabama's not the same team they once were, but they're finally becoming that team again.
yeah,
Though,
they're good. They're very good, as the AP rankings suggest, which we'll get to a little later.
well, actually, you know what? Since we're talking about it, should we just talk about the poll now?
Oh, sure. Okay.
So let's talk about the poll now. I have the rankings out. Um, the top 7 teams have not changed since
Right.
last week. But
Now I have to ask you a question, and you
uh,
and I'm curious because there's been a lot of debate. If if the top two teams were flipped and Indiana was number one, would you be disappointed or no?
no, because I think Indiana's playing really good football this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they deserve to be a 1 seed. I think in the top 5 teams, it's a matter of preference, like a vote.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I get why Ohio State is number one, but if you really look at Ohio State's schedule at a glance, they've really only played two teams that are actually good, and the rest are just whatever.
I mean, I looked at it. They pretty much played a softball schedule, right?
Besides Texas and Illinois, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Indiana's had to play some tough games all
Mm-hmm.
year. Now,
Oregon, Oregon, Illinois. There's been a couple that have stuck out
well, and then the blowout game, which was impressive, by the way.
against UCLA. Yeah, that was a great win.
But if you're
And the
asking,
blowout against Maryland last week, they scored 59 points.
their offense is like insane. Like they're just putting up points like it's nobody's business. I mean,
Oh, for sure. And they have a Heisman candidate potentially in Fernando Mendoza, a quarterback.
so would I be surprised if they were number one? No, because they're having an incredible season and they've had some really amazing wins on the resume.
Do you think they'll go undefeated?
Well, let's look at their schedule, right? So,
Yeah. Well, there's only one game that bothers me, and I'll explain once you pull it up.
all right, here we go. So their next game,
It's Penn State.
just scroll down here. Okay, so they're going to beat Penn State.
You think even though they've never won in Happy Valley, they'll finally win at Penn State?
I think that school is in such turmoil right now
Okay.
that I think they're going to find a way to come to the occasion to win.
And win on the road. Okay.
Yeah. Then
If
one of
you
the
were
worst.
if they lost, would you be surprised?
Not 100%. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think Penn State is in such a situation right now that I could see Indiana, who's playing amazing football right now, go into Penn State and win.
And win convincingly or just win?
I would err on the conservative side and say that they'll find a way to win.
Okay, so similarly to Ohio State, where they had to overcome a little bit of adversity last week when they played Penn State.
I think it's
Okay.
going to be a fight, and eventually they'll pull away at the near the end.
Okay.
And then obviously a team we just talked about that's having one of the worst seasons in college football, Wisconsin. That's going to be a win.
They might, Nick. That game is so bad that they might win that game by 60.
It's really bad.
If they really wanted to, they might win the game by 60.
And then they have a primetime game against Purdue on NBC.
Which Purdue's, hey, they're 2-7, but I'm not sure if you paid attention. They've been given teams some fits. Do you want to know how many games they've lost by a touchdown or fewer? You'd be surprised.
Probably a lot.
They have 7 losses. They've lost 6 of them by a touchdown or fewer.
Oh,
So they're close. Barry Odom has them in the right direction. One good recruiting class next year, and they'll actually be quite decent, I think.
yeah,
So,
but I think Indiana will win that game too.
I agree. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if Purdue keeps it interesting for like a half. So
if that's the case, though, so let's say they somehow manage to win those 3 games in November.
well, that would put them in the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis.
Right, because they'd be 12-0, right? So,
Mhm.
which
And
wouldn't shock me.
And they would either play Ohio State, USC, Iowa, Washington, or another school, but it's probably going to be Ohio State.
that's going to be a game for the ages, I feel like.
Oh, I'm super excited if that's the game.
But like I said, at the top of the rankings for like the first 5 to 7 teams, it's more preference of who wants who at the top.
I agree.
I must have screamed enough because I got BYU now at number 8.
Yeah, you must have screamed enough. For
Because
sure.
I kept saying like they're an undefeated team. How are they not near the top? Like,
Now,
but
I have a question. How do we feel about Washington being ranked, but Iowa not being ranked at 6-2?
where is Washington? Because I have the numbers up
I
here.
think they're
24.
24. And both have the same record. That's why I was curious.
This goes back to the ass backward approach of the voting system, where what was it you told me? Like Illinois and USC, you were saying a couple weeks ago?
No, I was seeing USC and Michigan, where I was pissed that USC was ranked. Excuse me, I was pissed that Michigan was ranked ahead of USC, even though USC beat them when they played each other.
No, but you were also mad because Illinois had a win, I thought, over USC. You were
Correct.
saying
Yes.
so you were saying Illinois should have been ranked ahead of them.
Ahead of USC. Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Yep.
and USC moved up 3 spots this week, also to 20.
Yeah, they beat Nebraska. It was a good game.
See, and I'm going to get mad at this again. So Notre Dame 6-2, they moved up 2 spots
For killing Boston College, who's terrible.
which is a shit school. Sorry, no offense, but like, really, that allowed them to move up 2 spots?
Yeah, and what are they now?
10.
Yeah, that is not a top 10 team in 6-2. No way.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what I said last week. Like, this is why the AP system needs to die. I know I'm being extreme when I say it.
Thankfully, it dies for the season later. Well, it already died for the season by the time this comes out. But thankfully, starting next week, we can talk about its official death, at least for the year. Beginning next week.
No, but I'm saying it needs to die. Like, it needs to go away permanently. Because the vote
that's going to take a lot of work, I think.
But tell me what value, because to me, you want to know how much value the AP poll has?
Like this?
0. No, it has 0. It means nothing because come the first week of November, when the rankings start, those are the rankings that matter.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, they still do the AP poll, right? Technically?
Yeah, but it doesn't get taken into account.
So why even do it?
I don't know.
Do you know why they continue to do the AP poll? Or if they're
I don't factually know the reason, no.
Because I was going to say, once the playoff rankings start, who gives a crap about the AP poll?
Right.
Because I feel like in the CFP rankings, they literally have a committee that sits and goes through every single game, right?
Oh, yeah. And they usually get it right for the most part.
Because like I look at the rankings and...
Wait, where is Michigan right now?
21.
Yeah, that's about right, I would say.
A lot of teams, there was some significant drops.
Well, Miami lost.
Well, yeah, Miami dropped 8 spots from 10 to 18.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech dropped from 8 to 16.
And that was its first loss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And Vandy dropped, they lost to Texas, right? So,
yeah.
Which, that was an interesting game to be.
It was. Did you see the blown call on the 2-point conversion?
I did.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
But to drop from 9 to 15, see, I think there's too much dramatic movement in the rankings.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because a loss shouldn't cost you 6 spots.
I don't think so either. And it's not like it was their third loss.
Georgia,
if it was their third loss, that would make sense, but it wasn't their third loss. You know what I mean?
Yes, Georgia Tech going to 8-1, and it cost them 8 spots.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Because I'm looking at all the teams above. So tell me if any of this makes sense. Go ahead. So So Louisville's now 14. It's 7-1.
Okay, well, Louisville beat Miami, so I think that's justified.
Okay. Okay, so Texas beat Vanderbilt, so that's why they're 13.
Yeah.
Virginia is 12.
And who did they beat?
I don't remember. I don't have the matchup in front of me.
Oh, does it not tell you on the right?
Well, I have the AP poll. They don't tell you who the I can go back to last week wouldn't say it.
Okay.
Oklahoma's 11.
Yeah, I mean they just beat Tennessee on the road, so it makes sense.
And then Notre Dame is 10.
Yeah, I don't think Notre Dame should be number 10.
The brand bias is screaming at me right now.
Oh yeah.
They're a 2-loss team. How does that make sense?
To be fair though, not to say that their placement is correct. Their 2 losses are to 2 really good teams.
Who were their 2 losses?
Miami and Texas A&M.
Okay, well Texas A&M is is number 3. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And who would you say the other team was? Miami?
Miami, yeah. First game of the season.
Which is now below them.
Mm-hmm. So that doesn't look as good, but I don't know.
I just feel like
where's Navy at?
They're not in the top 25.
Okay, so they were knocked out this past week then. Okay.
They're not even on the others for receiving votes.
Yeah, because they got pounded by North Texas.
So I don't know. It's interesting just looking at like Memphis, 8-1 is at 22.
Well, the argument is going to be, who has Memphis played?
But again, why does it matter? This is the only sport where you having the most wins doesn't make you one of the highest ranking teams.
Yeah, it's a little weird, isn't it?
I mean, Notre Dame, like I keep saying, 6-2 compared to Memphis, who's 8-1. And Memphis is 12 spots below Notre Dame.
I think that's brand bias.
I don't know, but did anything absolutely surprise you in the poll? Or no?
Surprise me in the poll. Well, I thought Iowa not being ranked was definitely a statement for sure. Which means it has to win the Oregon game this coming Saturday to become ranked. So that just adds another motivational chip on the shoulder, if you will. Washington being ranked, it's good, but it was a week and a half late. So I'm glad that they're ranked, but now they might not be ranked anymore if they lose one more game. And it pisses me off a little bit because had Illinois beat Washington, it would be in this week's poll. So I'm a little bit bitter about that. And then finally the one that sticks out to me, just as a surprise is just how much Vanderbilt is now being devalued after losing to Texas. It's not like Vanderbilt is a bad team just because they lost one game. You know what I mean?
I mean, one loss cost them 6 spots. I mean, Georgia Tech, 8-1, cost them 8 spots.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. All right, let's move on. Let's recap NFL Week 9. Would you say this is probably one of the wackier weeks in the NFL so far this season?
I think it probably is. I mean, just running through the gauntlet, you had arguably the NFL game of the year in the most unlikeliest of circumstances in Cincinnati. The Bears come away with a 47-42 win. The win probability for this game was ridiculous on both sides for a little bit. I mean, it looked like the game was over. The Bengals were down by multiple scores with a couple minutes to go in the game, and it looked like Joe Flacco was going to engineer a legendary comeback, and the secondary forgot to show up and left Coastal Loveland wide open in one of the most legendary Bears regular season wins in recent memory. And without a doubt, even though we're 2 months into the year and 2 months into the regime, it's already the biggest highlight of the Ben Johnson era so far. So
Yeah. I mean, I said it while we were watching the game. I think Chicago was lucky to survive that game because they easily could have given that game away. Um, Joe Flacco continues to prove that.
well, I'm going to counter you and say, how is it that the Bears were lucky to survive when they won the game?
I'm saying they're lucky to survive because they literally almost gave the game away, being up 2 scores.
Right, but he still won. So doesn't that kind of negate that a little bit? Your point would be more valid had the Bears actually blown the game, but they didn't.
No, I'm saying they're lucky to survive, meaning that they were lucky to win because they should have won this game single-handedly, no issues. The way this was going.
Do you agree that Tremaine Edmonds had a pick six taken away from him after looking at the replay? Didn't look like he was fully down.
I don't know. That again, instant replay in the NFL is fickle at best. But they played good football. Not taking that away from them, but the secondary, the defense almost cost them this game.
The defense isn't. Let me just say that the defense isn't great. That's definitely a major flaw. But you could say the same thing about the Bengals. I mean,
oh god, the Bengals defense is atrocious.
I mean, Chase Brown was furious. He's like, literally, our offense did what it needed to do, and you guys couldn't bail us out. I mean, and he has every right to be pissed. No,
go ask T. Higgins, who had an incredible game too, and I think he was pissed after the game, if I'm not mistaken, either. Like,
so was Jamar Chase.
I mean, I think there's 3 players that have already requested trades from Cincinnati already, but I don't know. Cincinnati's in a shit show role right now. Thursday night.
I have to know your opinion now. Everybody in the NFC North is separated by a game thanks to Green Bay losing to Carolina. Do you think it's one of the better divisions in football right now?
I think it's become more competitive. I think that, and we'll get to that game, but the Packers are not the runaway team that everybody thinks that they were going to be.
No.
No.
Now it's looking like if these teams stay on the trajectory they are, meaning all 4 of them, that week 17 and 18 could be very interesting at the end of the year.
That's true. Well, let's quickly just go over Thursday night because obviously we do our picks on the show. Are we really surprised at this outcome? No.
I mean, Miami fell back down to earth and only took it a week to do so. And, I mean, geez, that organization, we talk about it in our internal chat, but.
Well, Greer got fired.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying every week it seems like the organization is hitting a new low. Actually,
let me just clarify. It actually wasn't fired. They technically parted ways. But can we just admit a spade is a spade, that he pretty much got fired?
Yeah, and they probably just did that for technicality purposes. He was more than if I were to guess, he was more than likely fired.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, that organization's a joke. Tyreek Hill's done for the year. I mean, they've had so many injuries. If I'm Jalen Waddle, I'm begging to be traded.
I mean, my goodness. I mean, speaking of just the AFC East, it's looking like it's going to come down to the Bills and New England at the end of the year. I mean
New England,
that's setting up for a great finish in the AFC East.
Would you say New England's been a good surprise this year?
They've been a good surprise, but I'm going to be honest with you. They played some pretty bad teams. So at least this week, they're getting a real test against Tampa Bay, which should really prove where they're at. If they can win that game, then they should be taken a lot more seriously.
But you can say, though, that New England...
100%. This is a great turnaround. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Drake May's playing at an MVP type level. I mean, this team is very good. This team is playing the schedule they were dealt, and they're winning the games they're supposed to.
Well, agreed.
I mean, it just sucks because they should, and you know this too. They should be 7-1. There was no excuse that they lost to Vegas. None.
Yeah, that was a bad loss. I was just going to say though that technically they do hold the breaker right now against Buffalo,
Against the Bills because they won on the road. That's right.
which was a huge win, I think, on Sunday Night Football, right?
Yeah, that was like over a month and a half ago. Yep.
But that was a dominant performance, if I remember, from Drake May.
Oh
Like,
yeah, he looked amazing.
so just keep an eye on them. Some other upsets. Um, I don't think anyone expected the Vikings to beat the Lions at all.
No, I don't think so either. But JJ McCarthy is back. He looks like he's 100%.
He ran a touchdown in.
I'm telling you what, if he stays healthy, I don't ever do this, but I gotta give Johnny a tip of the cap. He said it before anybody else did. He said the Vikings were his big surprise team.
Yeah.
Trust me, if he stays healthy, Johnny's point is going to be validated by season's end.
And by the way, he got Jefferson involved in this offense too,
which is something you're not seeing as much.
And it was nice seeing Jefferson catch a touchdown on a deep ball.
Right, which hasn't happened in, I feel like, a minute and a half or something like that. But yeah.
So I do think this was a bad loss for the Lions also. Even though that division is very competitive right now.
It's great. And one of those, and you know this too, because of how the playoff structure works, one of those teams is going to get eliminated the last week. So,
well, look what happened last year with what was it? The Lions and who were the ones that had the big records last year?
Lions and Green Bay.
And didn't they both have double-digit victories also?
Yeah, but Detroit got home field and Green Bay didn't.
It was the last game of the season, though, if I remember.
Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think the Lions have some holes that they got to figure out.
Defensively.
Yeah.
Especially in the secondary.
And Amon St. Brown, I think, got hurt towards the end of the game also.
Yeah.
That guy can't stay healthy. He's a really good wide receiver, but he gets hurt.
Well, speaking of not staying healthy, because we have to mention this. Tucker Kraft is now done for the year.
Oh my God. I feel so bad for him. He's a really good guy.
No, he is. He is. That's a major piece of their offense. And because I have to mention this, I got to give a shout out because National Tight Ends Day was the other day.
Oh yeah.
I know we didn't talk about that, but it's good to see that tight ends are getting involved in NFL offenses.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. It's great. So you get tight ends, Brock Bowers, who looked really good.
Yeah, and which, by the way, I don't know. Okay, not to make this a general point, but my goodness, I don't know about you. I can't figure this Las Vegas team out.
I can't either.
Did you notice I was the only one who had the Raiders and they almost won? I was so pissed.
We'll get there.
At least they covered though.
We'll get there, but yeah, bad loss for the Lions. That was a home game for them too. Usually they're not a bad home team.
No, they're not. It was a shocking home loss.
But let's get to the upset that I think all of us didn't expect. Panthers-Packers.
Well, maybe Carolina might be decent. Aren't they 5-4 now?
They're 5-4. Yeah. By the way, that's a huge game to go on the road to Lambeau
and win by a field goal. Or win on a last-second field goal, rather.
But they were winning most of the game.
Yeah, they were 13-7, right? Or 13-6?
13-6, because I think the Packers missed an extra point. By the way, can I say this again? How many missed kicks? Again. Missed field goals.
It happened in the Bears-Bengals game, too.
And extra points missed, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your opinion on this whole year of missed kicks and missed extra points?
It's just one of those years. The kickers aren't coming up clutch as they usually do.
Well, a certain Big Blue team, which we'll get to in a minute, is probably not happy. But
oh my God,
let's keep going. Chargers Titans, which did not cover, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna take an estimated guess that a lot of people were probably breaking TVs over that shit.
Well, by the way, remember when people made faces at me when I took the over on that game? Well, guess what? The over hit.
Yeah.
I just felt like that 9.5 was insane.
Yeah,
The Chargers haven't been covering all year.
looking at it now, I probably should have rode with you on that. I wasn't thinking that.
Well, the spread, first of all, the Chargers have not been covering. Like, they're winning games, they're just not covering.
Right.
And the Titans, as Ward likes to say, is complete ass right now.
Yeah, they can't win for shit at the moment.
And I feel bad for Cam Ward, like, because he's a good dude. Like, if you heard him,
He
like,
is, because he's very disciplined. He wants to be the quarterback he knows he can be, and I'm sure most of the anger is from his dad, because you can tell whenever they show his dad at the games, he's just as frustrated as his kid is.
you know what? I could see in the next like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, him
I-
asking out of
Yeah,
Tennessee.
either asking out or they're going to trade him just to. The Titans kind of remind.
If he went anywhere but if he goes anywhere but Tennessee, I can make an educated prediction right now that he will be a quality quarterback.
I would so take him in a heartbeat if we could somehow get him. Like,
Oh, meaning the Jets?
yeah,
You would take him?
yeah.
Okay.
Like, I think he's got a lot of like high potential. He's got good field level view. Like, he's good at it.
He does, and he's just the way he carries himself. I mean, you look at him with the media, he doesn't shy away from answering questions. I know that's different from on the field intangibles, but I just mean he has the package to be very disciplined.
Well,
Is my
he's also a good dude. Like, I remember him saying at the draft that like he's not the partier. He's not the.
no.
He's like a very down to earth guy.
No,
Where
and obviously there's that viral video of Shedeur Sanders saying, "Hey, we should make a music video," and he's
and
like,
he said
"Dude,"
no.
and he's like, "Dude, I'm here to be the best quarterback of all time, not make music videos," and it made people instant fans of him.
I remember seeing that when it happened. I'm like, all right, I like this dude. I hope he has like a good NFL career. Like,
Yeah,
but I don't think.
I tell you, and I'm not even a Miami stan whatsoever, but I low-key started watching Miami last year just because he was just because he was playing, and he was good. He was really good.
He is really good. A game that kind of shocked me because of the score. Patriots Falcons.
24-23. New England does not cover. I lose my lock of the week.
A lot of people lost their locks on that game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a shoo-in victory. I almost locked that game because I thought the Patriots are playing such good football. Now, they do win, which is...
Did you win yours or no?
No. We'll get to my game in a couple of games. But kind of concerned a little, only beating the Falcons by 1, right?
Yeah, not great.
Drake May looked off during this game. The defense looked a little off. Falcons were getting all the yardage that they could. They just didn't win.
No, they didn't. But I will say this though: a win is a win for New England.
Correct.
And they're doing things under this regime that they couldn't do under Mayo and at the end of the Belichick era, which is finding ways to win in the fourth quarter. And they did exactly that.
True.
And Drake May is just making all the right throws.
He's just finally coming to his own.
And I don't mean to make this pop culture, but man, ever since he got engaged, he's been playing it like at a supreme confidence level to where nothing can go wrong.
Yes, he's been playing really good football.
It's kind of cool. It's almost like he has all of the right cheerleaders in his corner. If you know what I mean.
Right. I don't know.
And he's a likable guy. I mean, you've probably seen on social media like Patriots fans just hounding the Patriots account, like already requesting like lifetime contracts and stuff like that.
Yes, I saw that.
People love him.
He's a good guy. I think he has the potential to be an MVP. All right. Now we'll get to my game that I had as the lock. Colts Steelers.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did lock this. Oh,
and
wow.
I thought the Colts would come out and play better ball, but this is the first time we saw a little chink in the armor for the Colts. The
Mhm.
Steelers are a good defensive team.
Steelers are a great defensive team when when they feel like they need to be, though. That's the
Right.
key because every other week the defense seems to give up a zillion points.
Yeah. And by the way, Aaron somehow, knock on wood, has stayed healthy, made some incredible throws in this game also. Um, I don't know. I think the Steelers have a chance to win that division.
Well, now they do. I mean, do we know when Lamar's coming back?
He he played in Thursday Night Football.
Oh, right, yeah, but he
Hit
didn't
4
work.
touchdowns.
I mean, no, I know. I'm just saying, do we really think that that was just one game, or do we think Lamar is back to form again?
Oh, I mean, now we could argue that was against Miami, and Miami's just a terrible defensive team.
Right.
I'd have to look at the rest of their schedule to see who they're playing. Let me see if I can find that really quick. Oh, here. Okay. So they're at Minnesota this coming week.
That's going to be a shootout.
That's going to be a great game.
That seems like, I don't know. I know we haven't recorded the show this week, but I'm kind of leaning the over as my way too early pick on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the number is yet, but and then they play at Cleveland. That should be a win.
If it's anything in the high 50s, I think I'm interested. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look up the early Novig numbers so we can see what.
Yeah, what is the early Novig number on that? And then speaking of Novig, we should probably get to our Thursday night pick at some point.
Yeah, we'll quickly go through the rest of the games. The early Novig number is 48.5.
Okay.
But if it stays there, I'd be tempted at the over for sure.
Yeah. Well
all right.
said.
Quickly, Broncos, Texans, not really much there.
No.
Bo Nix.
But Denver finds a way to win again. I mean, they are winning games. You gotta give them that.
Exactly. And Bo Nix with the incredible 30-yard run to give them that. Bo has become a really good quarterback, by the way. I think Bo has a lot of potential, and I think Denver is hopefully leaning into winning that division, which I remember I said in the previews that Denver has potential to win the division.
Right.
You brought this game up before. We'll talk about it quickly. Jaguars, Raiders. What the hell with this game? Seriously.
It was a weird game, wasn't it?
I thought this was going to end in a tie. Like, I thought we were going to get another overtime tie.
Again, the Raiders find another way to not win a game in regulation, a game they were winning.
So the question I have, the $1 million question, is the play always to go for two there, or are you better off taking the chance and playing for a tie?
I mean, the analytics probably tell you what to kick the extra point.
Well, I guess because in their mind, that was probably the last chance they were going to have.
Well, right, because if they kick the extra point, think about it in theory, it only gives Jacksonville 20 seconds or so, maybe even less than that.
So I'm surprised they didn't take the extra point, but I guess they were just trying to take the risk and hope that 2-point conversion was horrible.
Well, they should have just ran it in. That's what I don't get. You should have had Smith roll out to the right and run it in. I don't know why. He could have walked in. You're right. There was a lane open on the short side of the field.
Yes, there was. Quickly, this game really has no merit. Rams, Saints, not a surprise.
Not a surprise, but God damn it, the over losing by half a point.
That frustrated me too. I had the over on that one also.
I was so pissed.
And I was surprised that the Saints or the Rams didn't kick any field goals. They kept going for it on fourth down.
I know. Late in the fourth quarter, it made no sense.
I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like,
yeah, I was watching that game in horror just like you. I'm like, oh my God. I
was like, seriously, we can't get another point here?
That's a terrible Novig bad beat if I ever saw one.
Well, speaking of Johnny, I feel bad for Johnny, by the way. It took him 9 games to finally get a win on the record.
Holy cow.
Like I said, I think I asked you. I
That
said,
would be the worst start in the history of us doing this.
yeah. Quickly, final two games: Chiefs, Bills. This was a really good game.
Another classic ending.
And Mahomes had the chance with 22 seconds.
Yeah,
I remember saying when Christy and I were watching this game, I said, "Watch, Mahomes is going to drive down the field." I just
that's
had the
what,
feeling,
that's what I thought too.
but I don't know. He just looked off the whole game.
Yeah, and now speaking of looking off, so do the Chiefs. I mean,
They're
if
the
the
eighth
season,
seed.
right, if the season started today, they wouldn't they wouldn't make it.
I mean, they're going to get in one way or the other. They will
No,
get in.
of course. They just lost to a good Bills team.
How many times did Mahomes not escape the pocket
A
either?
lot, a lot.
So, and then obviously Monday night, not much to talk about here. Sam Darnold, MVP candidate? I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, you mean Sunday Night Football?
I mean, Sunday night. Sorry, Sunday night football.
Yeah, I mean Seattle is playing well. The Commanders without Daniels, I don't see them making the playoffs anymore.
That's a
I
season ender, right?
yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Dislocated. By the way, who's the head coach again? I keep forgetting the name
Which one?
for Commanders.
Oh, I'm blanking on it.
Oh, Dan.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. I need to go off on Dan Quinn partially because leaving your quarterback in, knowing he's hurt.
Crazy stuff. And I
How,
get it. And I get it. They probably well, I was gonna say I understand the position of keeping him in, but at the same time I don't. Because if you take him out, you're gonna lose the game anyway. So the difference is that you give him time to potentially figure out what the injury is and try to potentially make this a quicker um process, if you will. And now they screwed themselves.
his season's over, and so is theirs. I mean, yeah. So their season is over. Um, Terry McLaurin has been injured left and right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he can't stay healthy to save.
Would you say that, like we said, the Patriots are the biggest surprise positively? Would you say the Commanders are kind of the biggest disappointment?
Yeah, but you can't really fully blame Daniels though now that he's injured, right?
No, but I just mean generally, like they've been a disappointment so far.
Yeah, after how they were last year, where they were winning all those games and they beat Detroit in a huge upset.
They
in the
were one play
playoffs.
away from the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and now they're going to flame out the way at this rate.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Obviously, we can't talk Monday Night Football because it's going on the day we're recording it. But all right, quickly, World Series recap. Dodgers repeat, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately for all of America except for people in the city.
You realize how sickening Major League Baseball is going to be over the next week or two,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Because they love when major markets win. Love it.
Oh yeah.
Especially when it's LA. I mean,
Yeah.
incredible game 7. I mean, back and forth. Miguel Rojas makes that play to home plate. The game is over if that run scores.
Oh yeah.
And then
I thought before that happened that Toronto was going to win.
Right.
That's what I thought.
And then Miguel Rojas hitting the home run.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, Clayton Kershaw going out on top of his third World Series title.
That's pretty awesome.
Now, did he play as big a role as he did in the last ones? No. But
his first one was with St. Louis, right?
No, they're all with LA.
Oh yeah, that's right.
His whole career's been with LA.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which, by the way, rarefied air in today's game.
Doesn't usually happen.
Clayton Kershaw, Derek Jeter. Like, you don't think of very many guys that play 18 to 20 years with one team.
Was A-Rod in that category or no?
No. A-Rod played for the Rangers, the Mariners.
Okay.
And almost got traded to the Red Sox, but the MLBPA blocked it.
Right.
But this is rarefied air. Now, do we see Clayton Kershaw eventually maybe going off to a network? And he would be a great personality on a
Oh yeah, I
broadcast.
think it'd be great for MLB Network.
So great career. Um,
I mean, Dave Roberts has to be the best manager in baseball, right?
I don't like some of his tactics, but I think he's a really good manager. I can't deny it, but I don't know. He rubs me the wrong way sometimes when he talks.
And before we get off this, because the MLB season is over, do you think the best team won the World Series?
On paper, yes, they were the best team. But Toronto, I feel bad for Toronto. And that's coming from a Yankee fan.
Well,
by the way.
Toronto. Well, to be fair though, Nick, Toronto had a chance to end it in Game 6, and they couldn't. They couldn't
Well,
do
the
it.
base running cost them.
Yeah.
But first of all, they should have won the 18 inning game, too. They had way too many chances in game 3. Also,
that's for sure.
this series should have been over in 6. If you really want me to be, I'm not going to say it should have been over in 5 because that's not fair. But
It's not.
But they could have potentially won it in 5 games, the way it
Mhm.
was played out. But somehow the Dodgers' resilience, they managed to play good defense in the final innings and win the game. By the way, did you see that almost car crash in the outfield?
Yeah, that was nuts.
Because the game would have been over for Toronto,
Yeah,
too.
exactly. If those guys aren't there, the ball drops, and it's either it's an extra base hit. And
Well, it's over. They would have scored the winning run.
Yeah, the game's over.
So I saw a tweet that the night after the game. They said the Dodgers needed all these things to go correct. Otherwise, they would have lost the game 7.
And they all did. Every single one.
So the throw to home plate, the catch in the outfield, the home run from Rojas, who was the 9th hitter in the lineup.
Right.
So,
well, because isn't it crazy though? Everybody was thinking, oh, they're gonna get Rojas out, and then Ohtani's gonna be the last guy up. Everybody's thinking, Ohtani's gonna get his moment, and it didn't happen.
During the playback stream, we said how apropos would it be if Shohei Ohtani made the last out, and if you remember those rumors that Shohei was thinking of possibly going to Toronto.
Yeah, well, that's certainly not happening anytime soon.
No. But I have to say, good series, 7 games. I said before game 7, as long as it's not a clunker, I'll be happy.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't a clunker. It was a great game.
I'm a little biased. I still think Cubs versus Guardians was slightly better than Dodgers.
That was a good series. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I think it was a better. Personally, I think that was a better game 7 than this game 7.
Well, I think there was more drama in this game 7, but I don't know. So
they were both great in their own right, 10 years apart.
Agreed. And now the offseason starts. Major League Baseball is going to be a pain in the butt during the offseason because by the way, did you see this thing that they were trying to intermingle the international numbers into their viewership?
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Because you realize Major League Baseball is the only one that does that?
Yes. Officially, yes.
Is that how desperate they are because their viewership is so far down? I mean,
I don't know.
And by the way, Major League Baseball, they're already counting down to opening day. Like, hello? Like, the season just ended. Which, by the way, if you really want to be frustrated because of streaming, the first game is March 25th. And actually, this coming year is a World Baseball Classic year.
Okay.
Which means there's going to be an extra week of spring training and all that nonsense. But opening day, Yankees Giants is on Netflix.
That's wild.
I'm a Yankee fan. I don't even know if I'll tune in to watch it on Netflix.
Even though you get it?
I have Netflix. But Because of the annoyance of you have to turn it on, then you can't watch other stuff. Like,
Oh, right. Yeah, because that's the only. Okay.
by the way, little backstage or behind the curtain, my TV is coming up in the next couple days.
Oh,
So
finally, we're getting the TV in the place it's supposed to. Congratulations.
so
It
I'll be able.
only took until November, but we finally did it.
So in the next couple of days, I'll be able to start watching stuff in here rather than having to leave the room. But
That's awesome.
but I digress. Let's get to a few more topics, and then we have a Thursday football pick to make. Let's get into this. So UFC's betting scandal. You can you pronounce the fighter because I don't know his full name.
Yeah, I actually spelled his name incorrectly. Let me. Can you fix it for me? It's two A's instead of It's
At
it's
the
two
end.
A's and just one S.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
continue to talk. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, so Issac Dulgarian was a UFC featherweight. He no longer is. He was taking on Vitor Del Valle at the UFC Apex. And why is this even relevant? Well, it's relevant because of one major thing. So, this fight, just for further context, it was a 9-0 prospect against a then 6-2 prospect. Was supposed to be a pretty good fight on paper. A lot of the betting sharps had Dulgarian as a favorite pretty much all week, as a sizable favorite. In fact, as many sports books had him over minus 200 the whole week, and then just hours before the fight began, some sharp money started coming in on the Del Valle side, more specifically to beat Dulgarian in the first round, and the fight itself was horrible. Del Valle came in and just smoked Dulgarian every way he could, eventually winning by submission in the first round. So, a big win for Del Valle, but a huge cost because now there's more info coming out that Dulgarian may have took a dive, and the UFC decided to cut him because of all this stuff. And I think it's a major deal. It's a story that was swept under the rug until late Sunday night when Ariel Helwani first reported on it. But just overall, a bad look for the promotion. It's interesting that at the time that we're recording this, the UFC is yet to make a formal statement on it. Helwani's reporting is the only verifiable reporting that we can go off of at the moment.
That's a problem, though, in my book. Like I
No,
was,
I agree with you.
where you and I mentioned this too on a call before we came on here, that the longer it takes for the UFC to make a statement, the sketchier it is, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know, like
And one other point, this fight would be irrelevant if it was in for this. I mean, this is as typical as two prospects as you could get, two guys that are not in any casual audiences. Where like you have to be really invested in this, like I am, to know who these guys are, which makes it even crazier that this is even a story. If that makes any sense,
so
it's not like it
so
was Tom Aspinall, John Jones, Prairie, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
well, first of all, I don't think you'd be able to get away with moving money like that on a big name fight because that would get called out instantly if it
Mhm.
happened.
Oh, I agree
But
with you.
so it says Dulgarian opened a minus 240 favorite, like you were telling me, but his line tightened to minus 160 just before the fight. And even more suspicious, the prop bet for the first round finish dropped from plus 850 to plus 475.
Yeah, that's bad.
So that's cut in half.
Yeah.
A massive swing suggests tens of thousands. Wow. Tens of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
in late action.
Yeah.
As a result, multiple sportsbooks, including DraftKings, reportedly pulled the prop line entirely.
Yeah, that's not good. And I don't know, and you can verify. I don't know if they tweeted it.
They did.
No. I was about to ask, did Novik void any plays on that
Oh, I
fight?
don't know about that. I
Yeah,
don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't know either.
But I was going to say, Tom, and for people who don't know, Tom Albano, back on our network, he retweeted something from, what was it, Caesars, I think?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can find it because he had shared it. Oh, here. Mobile customers with losing bets on the Dulgarian UFC fight will receive a cash credit within 24 hours, singles, or within 24 hours of the last leg being determined, parlay, same game parlay, or super parlay, should that bet have won without that leg included.
Are you asking me or are you
No,
telling?
that's what they wrote. That's what they wrote.
Should any meaning should any parlay bet win without it included?
So it says mobile customers with losing bets on the Dulgarian UFC fight will receive a cash credit within 24 hours or within 24 hours of the last leg being determined, should that bet have won without that leg included.
Absolutely, yeah. 100%.
So they're saying basically that they're going to pay back
As
on
they
that fight.
as they should. They're making the situation right. As they should.
And usually sports books are stubborn to no end. Like,
Right. When it comes to that stuff.
because they never want to admit when they're wrong, ever.
Mhm.
Because in the long run, it costs them a lot of money when they're wrong.
Right.
In the aftermath, two popular sports books, Caesars, which you just heard me say, and William Hill, have issued refunds for wagers on the Dulgarian Diwali fight after social media users flagged the unusual movement and accused the bout of being fixed.
Well, in watching the fight, it definitely was very suspicious. When I tell you that Dulgarian looked like he hadn't even trained for it, that's how suspicious the fight was.
So my question is, with Ariel really the only one having the news, were they hiding this?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Because supposedly Ariel said someone on the inside knew about it.
Interesting.
So I don't know what to believe. Like what happens if the UFC brass was in on this, which would make no sense.
That would mean that if they were, they should probably lose their promoter's license if they knew that.
The UFC should?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean if they knowingly knew that this was a work, then it falls on them to get punished for it, in my opinion.
And like you said, he got released. The official reason was attributed to the loss. Can we stop lying to people? Like, is the UFC just going to lie and say because he lost, that's why they took him or they released him from his UFC contract? Come on. Like, we're not stupid. Like, help me here because, like, this can't be because of performance, right?
Right. Well, I mean, it's almost it couldn't be performance because he was 2-1 or 3-1. I can't remember what his UFC record was, but he only. My point is he only had one loss going into the fight.
So it says. So it also says the UFC is yet to release a formal statement as of Monday, which is the day we're recording. However,
are you reading my story or a different story? Because
I'm looking at yours too. But
okay.
However, because I think it's important what you wrote that. However, the promotion has previously issued a policy that anyone is closely associated with a fighter could not bet on their fights, which is normal. I agree. Like,
yeah, it's normal.
But haven't we had issues with the UFC years ago where people used to be able to bet on their own fights?
2 years ago, yeah. Most famously, Justin James betting on himself. He bet on himself and then he proceeded to get knocked out. so we got no purse.
Oh, he got double whammied. Oh,
yeah, he did. He still fights, but he's fighting in regional promotions now. But yeah.
So it's the UFC's contract. Athletes are not exempt from these prohibitions, which state legislators and regulators have. Yeah, I totally agree. Everything you wrote here, like that.
I'm glad you liked the piece. That's good. I appreciate that.
But it makes me wonder what the UFC knew and what they did not know.
Which we'll probably never know. Unless somebody files a FOIA request.
I could see someone doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a wagering scandal. We just came off a major wagering scandal with the NBA.
In the NBA, yeah.
Who says like that the mafia doesn't just love the NBA. Maybe they love the UFC because it's
And,
easy to wager on.
maybe they love boxing because allegedly boxing's been crooked for a long time too. You never know.
I don't know. The whole thing with gambling is annoying.
I feel bad though because now those guys in Dulgarian's gym that had nothing to do with any of this.
They're
Now,
they're guilty by association, right?
Yeah.
That's why, and this
So
is advice.
it ruins their whole career. It ruins everything.
This is advice I give to people who like want to be in the media industry and what we do. Be careful who you associate with, is what I tell people.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you get in the wrong crowd of people, you become part of the problem, even if you didn't do anything.
Right.
And this is the same thing. You became part of a group that did the wrong thing, and now you're going to get wrongly associated, and your career is over because of it. All right, quickly, Jake Paul, Tank Davis heading for cancellation. I can't say I'm not very surprised by this at all. You said Tank Davis has allegations against him.
Yeah, more allegations supposedly.
He's a little bit of a strange guy.
He is. He's very strange.
And by the way, doesn't like Jake have like a foot on him or something height wise?
Mm-hmm.
Like I always thought it was a mismatched fight because I think Jake Paul has the height and the weight to win. But can we go through a fight without Jake Paul having some form of controversy?
No, we really can't.
Or do you think he does this stuff on purpose?
Well, how is it his fault that Tank Davis can't behave himself?
No. I'm saying he always finds these people that have some form of cloud over them in some way, shape, or form.
I think this may backfire. I don't really care. I think he does that to try to sell the fight more.
Oh, I agree with you. Totally. 100%.
Because I'm one of those people, and I don't know if you agree, I'm one of those people that believes he can't sell a fight by himself.
I agree. Totally. Yeah. That he's got to find a clown show to make a circus out of it.
I mean, the one guy he fought, what I mean is sell by himself. The one guy he fought was an Uber driver, and he beat him in a round or whatever it was, and nobody watched it.
You're basically saying he can't be the headliner, essentially.
Right. Exactly. I mean, look at every big fight he's ever had. Nate Diaz was a bigger name than he was. Tyron Woodley was a bigger name than he was. You could argue Mike Perry was a bigger name than he was, and most certainly Mike Tyson was a bigger name than he was.
I agree. And
you could argue Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was a bigger name than he was.
First of all,
the only fight where I don't think he was the B-side, in a sense, was Tommy Fury, and that's a fight that he lost. So
to be real honest, that's also, and again, I don't know UFC as well as you do.
This is boxing.
Well, or boxing. I don't know either as well, but I think Jake is a fake individual. Like,
okay,
that
compared to Logan, because a lot of people say that Logan is a little bit more authentic than.
I feel like Logan has a little more integrity than Jake does. Even though the two of them do things for entertainment value purposes, they can't be their own true selves at times. But Jake, I feel like he will never fight a legitimate, serious fight against a legitimate opponent. Even though after every fight, when he wins in air quotes,
that's funny because actually a lot of people would agree with the air quotes part. So
that he claims after, well, give me the big guys. I'm gonna kick their asses. No, you're not, dude.
And you notice every single post-fight interview, he calls out Canelo, and he never gets Canelo. Every single time he's done it, he's already done it like a zillion times.
You want to know why he doesn't get Canelo? Because Canelo says this is a total waste of my time. That's why. Because he probably thinks he's going to win that with one hand, like that I can win that fight.
He probably could.
But Canelo says, number one, I don't want to get involved with Jake Paul.
Well, right. Andy just lost to Terrence Crawford too, so he wouldn't want to tarnish his legacy.
Well, all right, forget that for a sec. Put that to the side. But I think Canelo's just saying, I don't want to deal with this shit. I don't want to deal with the Paul brothers and all the nonsense and
Right.
all the energy drink stuff and all the sponsor stuff and whatever. But Jake is never going to fight a significant fight ever. He never will.
Yeah.
And the day that he fights a significant fight, he's going to get his ass beat up and he's going to get knocked out.
No, I agree with you. And I was thinking that if these two fought, that Tank Davis would beat him. So it's almost like Jake is winning in this scenario because now he just got out of a potential second loss.
So I don't know.
This is clearly, the allegations and personal stuff aside, clearly a more seasoned fighter than Jake Paul ever will be. I mean, this guy's a multiple weight world champion. So
this is going to be a scary statement for me too. I'd rather have Logan Paul than Jake, like fighting.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I think Logan is a little more focused.
He is.
First of all, Logan has a successful podcast, a successful business. He's in the WWE, which I think is perfect for him because he can be the villain of the WWE and put on a show. Jake is trying, there's those air quotes again, trying to say he's a legitimate fighter. He's not a legitimate boxer.
No, he's not.
I'll leave it at that. All right.
By the way, one more thing. I used to be the one back in the day. I don't do it anymore because I know it's like not very professional. But in every Jake Paul story I used to write, I used to call him a celebrity boxer to mess with people. like in stories, because at the beginning of his career, I didn't think the beginning of his career was legit at all. And then I was told by someone to not use that phrase anymore. But I just figured I had to bring that back because I don't really do that anymore. So,
I mean, at this rate, why don't we just put Jake Paul versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. and just like, since he wants a circus of cavalcading clowns, let's just make a real circus. Let's do Jake Paul versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. and let's just get it over with. Right. And you know what? Let's add Mike Tyson to it just for more effect. So I'm serious.
One, I don't know about that.
No, because Jake is such a clown. Like, let's just do the most ridiculous fight of all time, and then Mike Tyson gets the winner. Or let's have Floyd versus Mike Tyson, and then Jake Paul take the winner. Like, the reason I'm talking like this is because Jake Paul is such a circus, a cavalcade of clowns in a circus, that I could name any ridiculous fight, and he'll probably find a way to do it for attention.
Of course. All right, let's try to move past this now. I think we're kind of beating it at words.
Yeah.
Hey fans, Novig is here to change the way you play. Available in 35 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and New York, Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market, and it's 10 times more profitable than traditional sports books because there's no house edge. Instead, you're betting directly against other sports fans just like yourself. Novig is also the only free exchange, which means you keep every dollar you win, whether you're putting plays down on the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, college sports, or even UFC and tennis. Novig gives you the power to pick the best odds, or better yet, set your own. Sign up today with the code ETB Network, and you'll get 1,000 Novig coins plus $5 in Novig cash, and special bonus offers like spending $5 and getting $50 back. Novig, where fans play smarter. You must be 21 years or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Empty the Bench is presented by Playback. Watching sports is more fun with others, but we spend too much of our time watching alone. Playback is a virtual space where communities can stream live sports together with everyone perfectly synced up. Creators can hop on stage, deliver their own play-by-play analysis and commentary, and invite viewers up for Q&A. Playback makes watching sports fully interactive and a social experience, from playing fantasy sports, repping your favorite players and teams, and watching with the commentators and communities you care about. Win or lose, sports are best enjoyed together. Join our community by going to playback.tv/ETB network to find out more, including our live stream schedule. And now back to the show. ETB Sports Odds presented by Novig. Let's get into Thursday Night Football, and then we'll put the show to bed here. Week 10, Broncos versus Raiders. Broncos, 9.5-point favorite. Over under 41.5. I don't like the spread number here.
I don't like the spread number either, but I'm going to counter you and say it's two world-class coaches in Sean Payton and Pete Carroll. That's number one. But it's what quarterback do I trust more? Regardless of where the game is played, I trust Bo Nix more than I do Geno Smith. I really like the Broncos here. I think that they can control the clock, run the ball, play good defense. I think their kicking game is going to be critical. And you've seen so far this season that when Geno Smith is under pressure, he doesn't play all that well. And the only way I see the Raiders winning this game or even making it competitive is by getting Brock Bowers open in space. If they can't get Brock Bowers in space, it's going to be a really long game. I understand this is a big number, and I don't really like taking spreads like this, and I know you don't like the spread, and I'm going to counter you here. I actually think the Broncos win the game outright, and they do enough to cover the number.
Well, you're right. The Broncos are fairly good team now. Bo Nix has found his way. He's on a hot streak.
And I think the only reason why the game this past Sunday against Jacksonville was even close is because you don't know what Jacksonville team you're going to get on a weekly basis.
That's true. But I don't know. Like, the Raiders are such a bad team. Like, so bad. Geno Smith is so bad.
Well, Geno Smith isn't just bad. He's also old. I mean, he's been in the league a long time.
And he takes so many hits, so many sacks.
Yeah, he's been in the league, 13 years or whatever? It's pretty wild, isn't it?
Which is crazy considering how he flamed out essentially with the Jets. But I don't like the number because, again, you don't know which team you're going to give it the Broncos, even though they're 7-2.
Okay, so you're going to go conservative and take a total?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the over. I think this is going to be like a 30-13 victory. Like, which would be 43. That would be covering the number. So I think the Broncos are going to score, but I think the Raiders will do enough to meet their end of the bargain to hit the number. So I'm going to take the over 41.5.
Okay, so we're split there, but we can both agree from just a regular standpoint, no pick included, that we both think just holistically that we think Denver's going to win, though, right?
Oh yeah, that's not the issue here. The Broncos are going to win. It's a matter of how much they win by.
Excellent. Okay.
So, anything else before we finish the show here?
I don't think so. It was a good show. Not to shameless plug myself, but those of you looking for episode 67, it's the Wait a Week. We're taking this week off. We have a few big interviews to release over the next several days, so stay tuned for those.
A lot.
And episode 67, we'll be back to preview Islam Makhachev and JDM from Madison Square Garden the week of November 15th. So stay tuned for a November 14th air date for episode 67. For those of you looking for my show, you will still get Blitz and Zinger later this week.
Yeah, so stay tuned to that. We have a lot of stuff coming up. We have playback streams coming up, mostly NBA now until March, probably.
Yeah, I think it's going to be all NBA pretty much.
With some stuff sprinkled in. Obviously, NFL Red Zone on Sundays. So making sure to tune into that. But make sure you follow us, youtube.com/ETB Network, as we broke our 1,000 subscriber threshold, which is good, as we continue to climb for our 4,000 watch hours on YouTube. Watch, subscribe. Just, you know what? Take a playlist and just play it in the background. Watch the episodes. That'll do us a favor. That way we can start fast tracking our channel to monetization. We can bring some more content. Listen,
watch the episodes, and especially this show, and hopefully in a few weeks you'll get hyped because episode 300 is right around the corner. So it's a perfect time to start hiking up those watch hours. So anything you guys can do to just play us in the background, this show, my show, any other show across the playlist, be sure or to do that. And you can also listen on the audio only side as well. So
yeah, listen wherever you get your podcasts. We have some new stuff coming in the next 2 weeks. Some audio. We're going old school. We're doing some audio only content coming in 2 weeks.
yeah, if you like deep sports, in the weeds type stuff, you'll be interested in this audio project for sure. Which I won't be directly involved in, but you will, and a few other people will, and it should be very interesting.
Well, there is one that we want you to be part of, actually.
Okay.
So I'll tell you about that when we're done with the show. But a lot of fun stuff coming up as well. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, everywhere you get your podcasts, obviously, and Empty the Bench presented by Playback. Check us out on there. Ton of NBA stuff until March Madness when that comes up. So, and all our other podcasts, me doing Press Row, you doing Zan Zinger, a lot of great stuff that we're doing on the Playback platform, which is now simulcasted to Twitch and to Kick. So make sure you check us out on all those platforms as well.
Yeah, and regardless of which platform you choose, you'll still get the same content, and so that doesn't change. It's just more mediums for you to check us out. So hopefully it isn't too much of a hassle. And by the way, both are free. So
they're both free. So that'll do it for this episode 294. He's Sam Bando. I'm Nick Morgasen. We will be back next week for episode 295 of ETB Sports. We will see you then.
See you then. Have a good one, everyone.